Today we'll have a look at the different types of tables available in Snowflake. There are four types of tables within Snowflake: permanent tables, temporary tables, transient tables, and external tables. External tables are a bit different. We'll come back to this. But first, let's have a look at the permanent, temporary, and the transient tables. These are the three main categories, I would say. Permanent table is like any normal table. This is the default table. So whenever you create any table within Snowflake, it's a permanent table. Um, as the name suggests, whatever data is stored within this table, it's permanent. The data would persist until unless it is dropped or deleted. What are the different properties or features of this table? It does support two important features of Snowflake's data protection, that is time travel and failsafe. Failsafe. Time travel is the feature by which you can go back in time. Suppose you have updated some records accidentally and you want to, go back to the previous version of that. You can do that using time travel. This is one of the most important features within Snowflake, and it is also based on the Snowflake edition that you are using, whether it's a standard edition or a enterprise edition. So in standard edition, you can get up to 1 day of time travel, but if you're using an enterprise edition, you'll get up to 90 days of time travel. So if you are using a permanent table and it's a enterprise edition, you can get up to 90 days of time travel. Now, along with this, there is another feature which is called as failsafe. So suppose the 90 days time travel is over and you still want to recover some data, and if it's within 7 days, you can still do that uh, using the failsafe feature. For this, you have to contact a Snowflake. You cannot do it directly, but the Snowflake team will help you to recover this data up to 7 days. So this failsafe feature is available of up to 7 days. That is not configurable. Uh, it is only available for 7 days and only for a permanent table. But this comes with some additional cost, some extra cost related to the storage. But it's again an important feature if you're looking for that additional data protection. Um, Now we can look at the temporary table. Like as the name suggests, right? It's for storing the temporary data. Any data which you don't want to store for a non-permanent basis, you can use this table. Like any other databases, right? It is for the particular single session. Okay, so if you are within a session, you can create a temporary table. As soon as you log off or you disconnect from that session, this table, the data within this table will get purged. So it is available only within that session and for that user. No other user can also see this. Where do we use it? You must have written a lot of stored procedures in maybe Oracle or any other database. That time you would have used temporary tables to store some temporary data that you want to use within the calculations of the stored proc. Similarly, it's a similar use here also. If you're writing any stored proc, you create a temp table, use that data to dump, use this table to dump the data. Once the work is done, you can just drop this table, or as soon as the session is over, this table will get purged. um, it does not come with any fail safe option because it's temporary, but time travel is supported up to 1 day. But again, it is either 1 day or the remainder of the session, whichever is the shortest. So if you're looking for storing any temporary data, you can go for a temporary table. The third option, which is an interesting one, which is a transient table. Now, what is the difference? Transient is very similar to a permanent table. Okay, if the data would persist there until unless it is explicitly dropped. So, unlike a temporary table, as soon as the session is over, transient table would still be there. Okay, it is you can think about it like a permanent table. So what's the difference? The only difference is there is no fail safe feature. Okay, and also the time travel is up to 1 day. So you do not get 90 days of time table, only till 1 day time travel. Uh, what is the use of such table? So if you want to save on that cost, right, related to that fail safe, that storage cost, you can use transient table. So where do we use this? Transient tables can be used for like a staging area. where you just want to dump that data and then put that data into some final tables. The final tables can be your target warehouses, dimensions, or fact tables, right? There you use the permanent tables, but wherever it's your staging, you can think of using a transient table, or even the tables where you can, easily rebuild that data. So let's say after, once you have dropped this table, but you still want that data, you are able to rebuild it. In those cases, you can use a transient table. So that's the key difference between permanent, temporary, and a transient. Um, as I mentioned, what are the use cases of these permanent tables you use for the final target tables for your dimensions and facts tables where you're going to hold your final calculations. Temporary you can use within a session for some temporary activities. Transient you can use it where you can rebuild that data again and you want to save on the cost. That brings us to the final category, external tables. Now this is a very different table. It's more of say you have your data on your cloud storage like S3, and you want to query that data without bringing that data actually within Snowflake. There you can use a external table. Okay. So if you have a file and you want to query that, you can query it using an external table. So you just create an external table and you query that data. So data still remains in your cloud storage. It does not get within the Snowflake, and because of that, you don't get features like uh, time travel or cloning or failsafe. Nothing. All these features are not available for external table. It is a read-only table. So simple read-only table created to read the data. If you're coming from AWS world, think of it like Athena, right? Where you create an Athena a table to read something from S3. It is used for any ad hoc querying purpose. It is similar to that. So there is still a provision, right? You don't have to really bring that data. You still have, if you want to query a data which is present in your data lake without getting it into Snowflake, go for external tables. It can also help you to have the single source of truth, right? So nowadays, people have started preferring the lake house concept, right? Where you want to have a single source of truth, you don't really want to get the data into warehouse. In those cases also this would help. So that's it about a quick overview about the different tables within Snowflake.